Welcome everyone, my name is Rigel and today I wanted to record a quick little video right ahead of Junior Eurovision 2024. Now I'm recording this less than 2 hours before the show, and so this video is not going to be 2 hours long itself. And part of the reason that it's not that long is because I haven't even listened to all of the songs, so I can't really go through every song kind of talking about its meaning, its genre, that kind of stuff. But I will give you a basic overview of kind of what I've learned from mostly reading Wikipedia. So yeah, with that said, let's get started. The first thing I want to talk about, obviously, is who's hosting it. Now, instead of France, it's actually Spain who's hosting it, because France, while they did win the previous edition, in Junior Eurovision, instead of having to force the winner to host, the winner rather has first refusal, and in this case France refused because frankly they've just hosted enough times. And actually part of it I don't think is refusal at all. It's just the EBU wanted someone else to host for once, and so they went to the second place, which was Spain last year. So that means RTVE is hosting the contest, and it's going to be taking place in Madrid at the Caja Mágica. Now, in terms of the presenters, we have three pretty familiar names, or at least some of them will be familiar to you. Ruth Lorenzo, who of course represented Spain in Eurovision 2014. We also have Marc Clotet and also Melanie Garcia, who actually represented Spain in Junior Eurovision in 2019 with the song Marte, and since then she's been doing a lot of singing, a lot of dancing, and actually one of the things she really wanted to do was to enter Eurovision itself when she got old enough, and actually she's really gunning to go for Benidorm Fest essentially. So in this case they've given her a case to involve herself in the world of Eurovision once again. Plus, she also recently got a, I think, C2 certificate in English, which is pretty impressive. But she's going to be mostly in the green room, while it's going to be Ruth Lorenzo and Marc Clotet who are going to be like presenting the scores and such. So those are the presenters. Now, in terms of the countries, unfortunately, the UK has decided to withdraw from the contest, meaning that this year we will no longer have the entire Big Five in the contest, although Italy are still in, as well as Germany, Spain, obviously, and France. So we only have 4 out of the Big Five, and also another country is Kazakhstan. My understanding is that they're still kind of re-evaluating their approach to the contest, so they're still not coming back, even though they weren't in the last edition either. So those are 2 countries that aren't coming back. There were others that were strongly rumored as well, like Belgium, like Lithuania, but neither of those returned this edition either. Instead, we have some pretty unexpected returning names like Cyprus and San Marino. It's strange to think that Cyprus will be taking part in Junior Eurovision again instead of Greece, who you would expect to return more, I guess, sooner, because they have more budget, presumably. But no, it's actually Cyprus who's coming back, and they've decided to bring the girl bop style to Junior Eurovision as well, even though the singer is giving Go Girl Give Us Nothing. But yeah, that's all I'll say about that song. For San Marino, they have a kind of girl group, and frankly, vocal-wise, they're also giving Go Girl Give Us Nothing, but it's got a weird charm to it, and a lot of people are actually voting for them just for shiggles, as they say. But in any case, that brings us to a grand total of 17 countries, which is actually one more than the previous edition. And we also have North Macedonia, who are not going to be in Eurovision 2025, but will be in this edition of Junior Eurovision, and I believe the next edition of Junior as well. But I'm not done talking about countries, because we have 3 non-participating countries which are broadcasting the contest, and frankly, I think some of these are the most likely to return, which are Croatia, Lithuania, and Luxembourg. Yes, Luxembourg, for the first time ever, are broadcasting Junior Eurovision. And, whether this means that they want to debut in Junior Eurovision, we don't know, but they're certainly looking at it. For Croatia, they obviously, they famously won the first edition of the contest. And now they're actually seriously looking into returning to the contest. Because, I don't really know their reasons, but they are looking into it. They've actually publicly posted about that. They have 2 commentators for it. And so I think we could expect, or at least hope, to see that Croatia returns in the next few editions. Same with Lithuania, actually. They are broadcasting it, and the commentator for them is actually just the same commentator as the adult contest, is Ramūnas Zilnis. I can't remember his surname, but yeah, Ramūnas, basically, who also commentates on the adult contest. So, yeah, Croatia, Lithuania, and Luxembourg are going to be broadcasting the contest but not participating in it. But those 3 countries could well return or debut in the contest. Now, onto the actual songs themselves. Like I said, I didn't listen to most of them, but I've looked around Twitter enough to kind of gather consensus on what are the favorites that could win. And some of them are the names you'd expect, like Spain, France, Armenia, Ukraine. These aren't really too surprising. But one that is surprising is Portugal. A lot of people are really hyping up Portugal, and at least from the recap, I don't really get why, because it's mostly just a girl singing a ballad on a relatively empty stage. And just for a quick look, I'll post a little photo of the stage design right here. And yeah, I don't think it's a particularly good design, and I'll get onto that a little later. But yeah, for now, my understanding is that the favorites are Portugal, Ukraine, Spain, France, and Armenia. There may be others as well. I think some people apparently really like Ireland. Actually, one of those people is me, because I voted for them. But yeah, Ireland has been getting a lot of interesting feedback as well. So we'll see what happens to that. And there's also a change in the voting system, which brings us to them using AI. Now, the topic of AI is a very complex one, and this video is mostly about Junior Eurovision, so I don't want to talk about it too much, but it is in equal parts remarkable and terrifying how much RTVE has been using AI in this particular contest. I'm talking about RTVE rather than the EBU because we know from past experience that RTVE are particularly prone to using generative AI in their Eurovision-related works. And the main example of this is actually the backdrop of Zora. If you look closely, there's some neon signs on the backdrop of Zora from Eurovision this year. And there's some text on the AI, on the LED backdrop, that just read like gibberish, because they are gibberish, because the background was in fact generated through AI. And yeah, so we can tell that this is mostly the idea of RTVE to use so much generative AI, which I think a lot of people will agree is a bad thing. And they've used it in a lot of stuff. They use it in the postcards, which is really creepy because they're training the AI, the generative AI, on the children who are representing their countries. And in the end, the result doesn't really even look like the people they're trying to imitate through AIs, which just doesn't make sense, and it really just gives a very uncanny and frankly creepy feeling to all of the postcards. And I don't understand why they did this, and again, it's just creepy in general and frankly extremely, extremely unnecessary, even though they literally have physical footage of the different participants in the contest. For the postcards, they have footage of them in real life, so it kind of boggles the mind as to why they're not just using that physical footage instead of, I don't know, generating random unrelated footage for the postcards. So it's just really creepy, really unnecessary, and it just takes away the whole illusion, let's just say. And just like with Zora, they also used AI in a lot of the LED backdrops. Reportedly, some of the countries that didn't use AI are France and Ukraine. And actually, those are the only two that I've heard that have definitively not used AI. So good job to them. And other graphics as well have also seen signs of having been generated using AI, like the random graphics that you see on the voting video, the transition graphics, all of that. Well, not all of it, but a lot of it shows signs of having been generated by AI, and that's just not only lazy but also soulless. And that is all I'll talk about for generative AI in this Junior Eurovision video. But as you're going in to watch the show, keep in mind a lot of the stuff has been AI generated, and frankly, at this point, I would not be surprised if the script of the presenters was also generated using like ChatGPT or something. And the voting system, I kind of joked about it being generated by AI, and honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if it were. But basically, during the kind of dress rehearsal yesterday, they tested out the new voting system where my understanding is that they're going to announce all of the 1 points, the 2 points, all the way up to 10, I believe. And then after that, they announce the 12 points individually. And the most confusing part, this is for a jury vote, by the way, the most confusing part is that the countries are listed. They are listed in a list, obviously, but the whole list has been rotated 90 degrees. So effectively, you have to twist your neck to even see what the countries are, which is really, really confusing. I don't know if they're going to keep that orientation for the final show. I suspect they will, because there's not enough time to change it now, frankly. But it's really confusing that for a jury portion of the show, the countries are flipped 90 degrees anti-clockwise. But it returns to normal for the televote for some reason. But yeah, the televote is just announced as normal. I don't think there's really any change there. But the jury vote announcement, at least, has been changed, and that is really, really strange. And one suspects it's what the AI answered when RTVE asked ChatGPT to come up with a reform. So yeah, there's been a lot of AI that's been used, generative AI, in this particular contest. And if that turns you off, honestly, I wouldn't blame you for just not watching the show. There's just a lot of issues with it, and a lot of it is just really uncanny, really creepy, and yeah, it's not a great show, if I'm being honest. And yeah, so that's kind of what you have to keep in mind as we go into the show. And yeah, honestly, that is about it for this little roundup. Like I said, I didn't listen to most of the songs, so I couldn't tell you what my favorites were. Well, I do know what my favorites were based on the ones that I listened to, and those are Ukraine and Armenia. But other than that, I don't really have much to tell you in terms of my favorites and who I hope to win, because I really have no stake in this. I don't have any interest in who wins this, although, to be honest, given how the RTVE has been dealing with this whole hosting situation, I just hope that Spain doesn't win this contest ever again. And honestly, the most worrying part about this isn't that RTVE is using AI, because they like to do that apparently. The most the most worrying part of this is that it sends out a message to other broadcasters that it legitimizes the use of generative AI in hosting future Eurovision contests. And that is the real problem right there. And that, sends out a message to broadcasters that, oh, it's fine to use AI because people will watch it anyway. And that should not be tolerated. So, again, by all means, if even as a protest against them using AI, just don't watch the show. You can just check out who won the contest afterwards because, come on, this is Junior Eurovision. Who actually cares, right? So, yeah, that is really mainly what I wanted to talk about. Like I said, I didn't listen to any of the songs. I'm starting to repeat myself now. But that's all I have to say for this video. Hopefully I'll get to uploading some of my older vlogs. I know I'm supposed to be uploading them a long time ago now because I'm still editing, or rather I'm still on the editing process of my Eurovision Daşkes LT vlog from February. So yeah, I'm supposed to be hosting a lot of stuff, to be honest, but I just haven't found the motivation to be doing it. But hopefully you will forgive me for that. I will get the videos out at some point. But for now, this is it for my little roundup of Junior Eurovision 2024. I hope you enjoy. And I'm actually going to live stream my reaction to the show, or at least the results of the show. So maybe I'll see you there. If not, you can maybe go and watch Junior Eurovision if you're not repulsed by the idea of them shoving generative AI in your face. And yeah, thank you for watching. Like this video if you enjoyed my content. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my upcoming videos. And I'll see you next time.